What's up, guys? It's Jake here. Today we're going to be modeling something a little different. I've been watching some cartoons lately, and I got some inspiration from Rick and Morty. So today we're going to be 3D modeling the Butterbot from Rick and Morty. Now this Butterbot, it has a lot of hinge pieces. It has a lot of cubes and cylinders and stuff like that, and we're just gonna try to build it the best we can. So you can either turn this video, turn the playback speed up so you can speed through it, or you can listen to me walk through all the steps that I go through to build it, and you can follow along. So first we're going to start out on the bottom piece. So we're actually going to create we're going to go to polygon primitives, and we're actually going to get a pipe. And the reason why we're going to get a pipe is because we are actually going to take this and we are going to select the edges on the inside. We're going to select those, and we're actually going to scale those out so that they're about like this. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we're going to select the faces. We're going to go to the top view. We're going to select these, and we're going to pull them out. And what this shape is this is the shape of that's going to make the wheels for the Butterbot, because it has those conveyor belt wheels that go all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to select object mode. Also, I'm not sure if y'all can see this whenever I left click and I change. This is just me left clicking so that I can change either my my field of vision, like my POV, like top view, bottom view, all that, whether I'm selecting vertex or face or any of that. Right now I'm selecting object mode so that I can rotate this. So we're basically going to rotate this so that it's just like that, and we're actually going to scale this down because we want plenty of space. Also, I'm going to get rid of the grid just because I feel like we don't need it. And we're actually going to duplicate that once, and we're going to duplicate it twice. And the reason we're going to duplicate it twice is because I want to select the faces that are in here, and I want to delete them, and I want to take these edges and mesh fill hole. And what that does is that basically just made the the rough shape of like just the standing part of where these wheels are going to go. So we're actually going to scale this down just a little bit. We're going to scale it down so that this goes a little bit, it needs to be a little bit smaller than the original one. So we're going to scale that a little bit and move it to the side. And then we're just going to scoot this one over. Actually, we're going to scoot this over, and we're going to scale this way a little bit. And there we have that. So that is going to be the main part. I'm actually going to combine these. I'm going to go to my modeling toolkit, and we're going to press combine. So that's all one shape, and then we're going to scale this out just a tiny bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make some of these cylinders, and these are going to be like the actual like bearings or wheels. And so we're going to go, we need to rotate 90 degrees. There we go. And so now we're going to scale these down, bring it up a little bit, and basically we're going to size these down so that they will fit in here. And basically what I want to do with this is is I want to select all the faces. Hold on, I might as well. I'm going to turn on symmetry real quick. Symmetry helps with this kind of stuff just so you don't have to do the same thing twice. Now let me make sure I have the right symmetry. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these and we're going to press extrude and we're going to scale it in. The reason we do that is because we want to pull this down and then we want to extrude again, scale it in a bit again, and now we want to extrude it back out. And so now we have this wheel shape. And so now all we're going to do is we're just going to slide this back in where we had it, and we're going to duplicate this down here and right here. And I might actually scale these up just so that they fit a little bit better. Scoot these to the side, and I think that looks a lot better. Scoot this one to the side a little bit. There. Now we're going to take these and we're going to put them just like that. And now we have the bottom part. So this is the conveyor belt tires. Now what we can do with this is we can actually make this. What we can do is we can take this and we can add a bunch of edge loops. And what that does is it allows us to have more faces, so that way we can... Sorry guys, Maya just froze for a second. There we go. Okay. Let's undo that. And we just add all these edge loops, and now what that allows us to do now, for the reason now that we're doing that, I'm actually going to object mode. We're actually going to separate all of this now. We're going to delete that one and we're going to duplicate this one. So now we don't have to do that twice. Now what we can do is combine all of those again, and now we can select the faces. And we just select every alternating face. And then what we can do with that is we can extrude that and make that like the tire tread. Give it that extra detail that we want. And for all of y'all who are asking, I do use a laptop for Maya. I have not been able to get an official PC, so that's why Maya kind of runs a little bit slower on my computer. It still works, and I still love doing it on here. But if I had like an actual PC, then it would be easier to do. But I can't afford that at the moment since I'm a college student. But anyways, back to what we were doing. All I'm doing right now is I'm kind of making the tread on the tires. So we select all those faces, we extrude it, and there we have the bottom portion of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, basically the body is just made up of a bunch of rectangles. So we're going to take a cube and we're going to do this middle part first. And the reason we're going to do the middle part first is because it has a slightly different shape to it than the rest. We're going to scale this face, we're going to scale it down a little bit. Oh, no. Let's turn off symmetry. And we're going to scale this face down, and then we're going to, I need to add a face here, or add an edge there, and add an edge there. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to take these two faces, I'm going to, oh, did not mean to select this one. And we're going to extrude both of these down. Then multi-cut these. And then all we're going to do is we're going to sorry guys, I'm struggling a little bit here. There we go. Now let's make this, we want left view. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to take all of these and we're going to round these out. And what I mean by rounding them out is we kind of just want to take these, we want to give it a round shape. And just like that. Now that's what we want right there. Now the reason why we wanted that is because this is going to be like the hinge shape kind of thing that we want. And this is going to be hinged to the bottom part, and we're actually going to put a small teeny tiny little cylinder. So we're going to rotate this. We're going to make it really, really skinny. Move this into place. Going to make it really, really skinny. It's going to go right here. Just like it was a hinge. Move it over just a little bit more. And guys, don't be afraid to let me know in the comments what you think I could do better in these videos. Your feedback is always helpful. If there's like, if I need to like change my view a little bit more or like show something a little bit more, like just let me know. Like I said, like it's really helpful whenever y'all give me feedback. It helps a lot. So don't be afraid to, don't hesitate to post your input. Now all I'm going to do is I want to give it this sort of slant look, so we're going to put it right here. Now I want to make sure. Perfect. Okay, so I want to scale this down a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so there's that. And so now we're actually going to work on the top part. And the top part is like basically its body, the main camera, like all that stuff. And the main camera is actually relatively easy, so we're going to do that first since it's like a big part. Let me make sure I have it centered. And so we're actually going to scale this up a little bit because it is a little bit bigger than that. We're going to bring it up and we're going to extrude this out. And we're going to select all of these sides and we're going to extrude those out as well. Let me extrude that out just a little bit less, probably not as much as I did before. There we go. So I'm actually going to take this and scale it out a little bit, and I'm going to rotate it this way. And then all we have to do is we want to make another sort of like cube shape here. Now whenever you guys do this, it doesn't have to be exact. Nothing has to be exact whenever you 3D model. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. It can be, it just doesn't have to be. And so that's why like you see me like do these, you can see me do like whenever I make these multi-cuts in here or these edge loops in here, like I'm not following exactly like, I'm not doing exactly symmetrical because you don't have to. It's not a big deal if it's not perfectly symmetrical, at least for some things. And there we go. Now we have the head piece done. So now with the head piece done, we have to add the cameras. We have to add the main camera. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. We have to add the main camera, and then we also have to add the wires on top of his head, and of course we have to add the arms, and then the plate that the butter actually sits on, and then of course the butter. Now I'm just going to create another pipe here. Go to Polygon Primitives, go to Pipe, and I'm going to rotate this. And I'm going to do the same thing because these edges are a little bit too close for my liking. So we're going to scale those up a little bit. Now, I will probably, for whenever, I'm going to make a separate video of me actually coloring this project because I do want to show y'all how I color and I add shadings and do all that. The way I do it is actually like relatively simple, so I usually just add a bunch of blends and Lamberts to everything. So I will make a separate video about me coloring this build, and then I will post that as a separate video on my channel. So right now I'm kind of doing like the base of everything, and then I'm actually going to do I did not mean to do that. I'm actually going to do a sphere, and I'm going to bring this to the side, get it nice and centered. I'm actually going to bring this in, and I'm actually going to use this for the lens. I think that fits in just perfectly. And then, let's see. I'm actually going to rotate this so this goes here, so that when I color that, it's a separate part. And then I'm going to add another blank piece, and the reason why I'm going to add a blank, or I'm going to add a very short cylinder, the reason why I'm adding a very short cylinder is because I want to make this one translucent whenever I color it, so that way it actually has a official lens piece. So scale that down, bring it over here and center it. And there we go. That is the camera part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing for that we did for this. We're going to separate this so that we can grab one of these out of here. Let me center the pivot. We're going to scale this way down from what this originally was. And basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to duplicate this. This is going to be the arms, guys. So we're going to put that about right there. And this is going to be the arms that like hold the butter. So actually let me multi-cut here and here, and then now we can duplicate that. Now for this, I'm actually going to delete two faces, maybe not that one, this one. We're going to delete those two faces, and the reason why we're doing that is because we're also going to delete these two faces. And the reason why we do that is because we can take this, we can combine them, and then we can take the edges of both, and we can bridge them. And what that does is it makes a really cool looking robot arm. And then all we do from there is we're going to do kind of the same thing, except we're only going to select these faces. We're going to extrude them, let's scale them back down. And then there we have the main arms. And so for those arms, we do need to make claws. So for the claws, we're just going to take a cube, very simple cube. I'm going to scale it down. We're going to take it up here. We're going to put it next to this. And we want to make these symmetrical, so, or not symmetrical, but like on the other side, we want this to be the exact same. So let's scale this face down just enough where it's about in line. Let me bring it to the side like this. Now that I think about this, I actually want to take this, not like that, yeah, because it's holding the butter, I actually want to put this under the I want to put it under because it's technically holding the butter right now, and so that's why I'm trying to make it like this. And we're going to flatten that out. And we're actually going to get a tiny little cylinder, and we're going to make a tiny little screw or bolt, and that's going to go And the cool thing about this is that we can just duplicate it to the other side since we want this to be somewhat symmetrical. So and there we go, there's that. So let me make sure that this is centered all the way like I want it. And then we're going to select all of this, and we're going to, why is that selected? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, there we go. So now all we're going to do is, this should all be one shape now, so now all we have to do is put this in like that. And so now that's all one piece, and then all we do is duplicate that directly to the other side. And there we go. There we have it. So now we have it all coming together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the wires on top of its head, and we're going to make the dish and the butter, and then that is all we have. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. I had to restart my computer. My computer was like lagging out really bad, and I had to update some things. But I'm back now. So next we're gonna work on the wires that go on top of this head. Now, typically on this build, the wires actually go from about here, and they just branch over the top like that. But for the sake of this build, I'm actually going to bring the wires back behind the head, just so that I get a little bit more depth and a little bit more personality into this build. So I'm going to use a cylinder, and I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to bring it up. I'll scale it up a little bit. And I'm going to move it and rotate it. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to select the faces, and I'm going to extrude and scale them in, and this will make like a cover for the wires, I guess. And I'm actually going to delete all of these faces and make this one singular face. select the object, and I'm actually going to move it down. Now we can continue to, I'm going to rotate this. And I'm just going to keep rotating and messing around with this until I get this how I want it to be. I think for this we might actually have to do it how the original design is. So we're going to bring it about right here. Extrude. And then we're going to extrude straight down, and then select these faces and extrude those out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the entire object, we're going to lift it up, and what we're going to do is we're going to add some edge loops so that whenever we smooth this, the wire part will be completely smooth, and then this will not, because we want it to show the wire to be we want the wire to be smooth, but we don't want this to be smooth. We want this to be sharp. So now when we do that, now we have this kind of shape right here for the wires, and then we just bring that back down where we had it. And we're just going to duplicate that and bring that to the side right here. And now for this next part, we're just going to build a torus, and what this is for is this is going to be, I guess there's like a little button or sensor or something on top of his head that I didn't see before. So we're just going to scale this down really small. Going to rotate it, and then we're going to bring this and put it right about there, and then we're going to take a small little sphere, we're going to put this right here for the sensor. And there we have it. So now all we have left to do is to do the butter and of course the dish. So for the dish, we're just going to grab a cube, we're going to bring it up here, and we're going to scale it out to size. We're going to bring it here. That's about where we want it. I've decided that we're actually going to bring all of these forward just a little bit, just so that there's a little bit more room for the butter dish. And we're going to set it right there. And that's about perfect. So now we're going to scale this down a little bit because we want it to be pretty thin of a butter dish, and then I'm going to set this down about where we want it, and we're going to multi-cut here, 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 and here. And we're going to select the faces. We're going to scale it up, and we're going to spread it out. And there we go. Now we have our little butter dish. So now all we have to do for the butter is simply just make a butter stick, a stick of butter. We're going to put it on the dish, center it, scale it out, scoot it over a little bit just so that it's completely on the dish. And then all we're going to do is just make these cuts all the way around. And that should make our butter. Now, for the sake of 3D modeling, I will be posting this model on Thingiverse, in case y'all are asking, so y'all will be able to download the file and print it. For the sake of printing, some people might want to use this as a pen rest or something that you like put something on so that the robot is actually holding something other than butter. So for the sake of the print, I will actually be probably putting these in 2 separate pieces, have the butter on the side, the butter in the butter dish on the side, and have the main character itself. For right now, I will show y'all how I like to color things. So I'm going to start with the butter, since that's like the first thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and separate everything, just so that I can get to it a little bit better. But yeah, I'm going to start with this, since this is going to be the hardest part. I'm going to start with this, and what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the side. We're going to make this a blend, which is like a shiny material for anybody who doesn't know what a blend is, and we're going to make this white. And the reason we're going to make it white is because we're going to add transparency to it. So now you can see through it. You can still see the object there. You can still see the lens. And then this is going to be a blend as well, but this is going to be solid black. This is going to be solid black. And then we're just going to move this back. And there we go. Now we have the camera lens. And then we're just going to toy around with this and make everything how it shows. So for the actual camera parts, I'm not gonna use blends. I'm just solely gonna use I'm only gonna use like Lamberts, which are non-shiny materials. They're just solid colors. So for this, we're gonna do a slightly lighter gray, not quite as dark, because it does show to be gray in this part. Existing material, we're going to do Lambert 2 for that as well. Actually, we're going to do a darker color for this. We're going to do a slightly darker gray, probably that. That's probably what we're going to do for that. And then for these, because they have like mismatched shade faces, I'm going to do this. No. We're going to select all of these faces. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we're going to assign an existing material. We're going to do Lambert 3 for that one. And then we're just going to select all the opposite ones. So all the ones that we didn't select, and that is going to be Lambert as well. So we're going to make this a red color because that's supposed to be a red wire. And then we're going to do the same thing for this one, except I'm going to duplicate this one, put it there, and then we're going to put it just like that. Face. We're going to use this tool to select these faces. We're going to deselect anything that we don't want. Okay, and then just like that, and then that should be all the faces that we need. We're going to assign a new material. We're going to go to Lambert, and we're going to make this one yellow instead. So this is going to be a yellow wire instead of a red wire, as it is in the show. And then we're also going to make this sphere. This is also going to be, I think, yeah, this is also going to be red as well. And then we're going to do the same thing kind of for these. We're going to make this the same color. I believe that's Lambert 4. Let me check and make sure I got my colors right. Yeah, so that's going to be Lambert 4. Lambert 4 for that. Oh no. Lambert 4 for that as well. And then this actually needs to be Lambert 4 2. Actually, no. No, this doesn't need to be Lambert 4. This needs to be a slightly lighter gray. And then these need to be Lambert 4. Those have to be darker, and then this needs to be lighter. So this is going to be like Lambert 3. There we go. And then of course the dish is probably just going to be white, so we're going to use a blend for that one. Since we want the dish to be shiny, we're going to do white. And then of course for the butter, that's going to be shiny as well. We want it to be a light yellow, we don't want it to be dark. And that's about it. That's about the right color. So now that we have that done, we have the butter done, we have that done, we're going to take all of these tires and we're going to make those, actually, we need to make this Lambert 3. And these all need to be Lambert 4. And then for the tires, last but not least, these are going to be a solid black Lambert. And there you have it, guys. We have the final product of uh, the Butterbot from Rick and Morty. If y'all liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe and share this channel with your friends. And like I said in my past videos, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always up for trying out new things and modeling new things. So if there's anything y'all want me to model or 3D print, please let me know in the comments. I read all of my comments and I try to respond to them if I feel it's suitable. And if you let me know in the comments what you want me to create next, I will respond. I will either respond to you with a yes, I will work on that and I'll try that, or a no, that's not in my skill set yet, and then I might push it off to a later day. But other than that, guys, I hope you liked this video. Like I said, please like, subscribe, share, share this with your friends. My Thingiverse link will be in the About section of my channel. If you want to download this model and go to Thingiverse and print it yourself, the link will be in the About section so you can find that. Other than that, guys, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one.